Basketball, brought to you by Chevrolet and your Central Indiana Chevrolet dealers, the heartbeat of America. By Scheid Tire Centers. Before you decide, try Scheid. By Coca-Cola Bottling Company. With Coca-Cola, you can't beat the feeling. By Marsh Supermarkets. At Marsh, we value you. By GTE. Make the smart business call to GTE for solutions to your business communications problems. By Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. And by Taco Bell. Say hello to great taste. Taco Bell.
Well, while Jack Frost is busily creating etchings on the picture windows of the homes around Chicago, 18,000 plus will be here at the Chicago Stadium tonight. I'm not kidding you, they'll pack it in. They've only had one night this year where they haven't sold out. Hello, everyone. Eddie Doucette, Bobby Slick Leonard. You know, I'm telling you, this is unbelievable. When Lou Rawls used to sing about the almighty hawk in Chicago, I don't think he had any idea how prophetic he was being, because the hawk is howling in the Windy City tonight. It's cold here. How many pairs of socks do you have on?
Hey, if we can heat it up in here like it is, as cold as it is outside. But this really shows you've got a franchise. When people come out when it's 10 below, and you're going to have 18,000 or better people in here tonight.
You've got the layered look on tonight. I mean, you are something else.
I got it all on, pal. I'm ready to go.
Here's what's going to happen. Two people that we want to zero in on. We know about Michael Jordan, but two fellas that are really going to be key tonight for the Chicago Bulls. And they are Charles Oakley on the left, Rory Sparrow on the right. Now, why? Oakley is the man that bangs the boards, 14.2 a game. Sparrow is a relatively new addition to the club. He came in the last time we were here, but he is going to try and choke off the Pacers' break.
That's it. Charles Oakley is going to get the ball off the board to start their break. And Rory Sparrow's a quick little devil, and they're going to put him on Fleming and let him apply that real hard pressure so we can't run.
Now, as far as Oakley is concerned, last time in here, he had a pretty good go of it. 19 boards, 26 points. But Herbie Williams was nowhere to be found.
We didn't have Herbie last time here when we won an exciting ball game. Tisdale and Stepanovic both fouled out. Oakley had 19 rebounds and 26 points.
Mark my words, it'll be a good game tonight. The Pacers right now 2-0 over the Bulls. We'll talk more when we return to the Windy One, the Chicago Stadium. Eddie Doucette, Slick Leonard at the Chicago Stadium. It's been here for centuries, and now it seems like centuries anyway, and they have another full house tonight. The Chicago Bulls, a very fine defensive team. They have the third best defensive rating in the NBA. They don't score a lot of points, but a lot of that is because Michael Jordan's averaging about a third of their points.
Well, he handles the ball a lot, and they got 4 spectators with him to stand around and wait for the open shot.
Bobby, something very tragic happened today in the world of basketball. They lost a good one. A young man just inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. Pete Maravich died of a heart attack today, and it was a tragic thing to have happen, and both of us, you and myself, knew Pete very well. He's a wonderful young man. And right now, here at the Chicago Stadium, they're going to have a moment of silence in honor and in respect of a fellow that was just a terrific young man, a great talent. He died at the age of 40.
Just, Eddie, I can't explain how I feel. This is an absolute tragedy.
I know that those of you who follow the NBA flights, the fortunes, the fates, are very familiar with Pete Maravich. And right now, a moment of silence.
Thank you. Please remain 6'5" guard number.
Welcome back, Chicago Stadium. The Pacers have been introduced. Dr. Jack Ramsey, who is there. Jack with a record of 840 wins, 745 losses, a 53 winning percentage, and the only man that stands between Jack and the #1 spot in the all-time winning list is Red Auerbach. And now, ladies and gentlemen, look at this dramatic production as they introduce the Chicago Bulls, and they call them the Rolling Thunder.
The starting lineup for your Chicago Bulls. And forward from Ohio State, 7 feet, number 6, Brad Sellers. 6'9" forward from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Oakley. In the middle, from George Washington, 6'9", number 17, Mike Brown. And guard from Villanova, 6'2", number 2, Rory Sparrow. From North Carolina, at guard, 6'6", number 23, Michael Jordan.
Doug Collins, the coach of the Chicago Bulls. That's kind of a dramatic presentation, the way they get these fellas going. By the way, tonight, we'll be selecting a Miller Lite All-Star Player of the Game. Miller Lite and WTTV will present a $100 check to the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation on behalf of tonight's Miller High Life All-Star Player of the Game. Well, Slick, they've got the setting. They've got good young people. It's the youngest team in the NBA, seeing as Artis Gilmore's been released. And they got a couple of pretty good officials here tonight. You got Mike Lauerman, who's on the right, and you got Joe Crawford, who is on the left. But all the elements are here. The Chicago Bulls have to be considered one of the bright teams and franchises down the road. Already you see what they're doing attendance-wise. Only one night this year where they have not sold out. So Brown, 6'9", going up against Steve Stepanovich. And it remains to be seen whether he will jump. No, they will bring in Sellers, I believe. Let's see who they jump center. They're going to bring in the 7-footer from Ohio State, Brad Sellers. He's a second-year man, and he will go now against Herb Williams. So they've changed the alignment in the center jump circle. You've got Charles Oakley. He is 6'9", Mike Brown 6'9", Sellers 7 feet. Sellers playing it forward, Brown playing it at the center position. And the tap goes to Rory Sparrow. They've really shaken up this starting lineup of the Bulls. Paxson is no longer in there. Of course, Gilmore's been released. Corzine comes in off the bench. Oakley giving it over to Jordan. 32.5 points a game is what he averages. John Long has got him. Brown. And Brown, the kid from George Washington. Not a lot of people know about him. He was a third-round pick, 6'9", 240, stronger than dirt. Good baseline backdoor. Vern Fleming right there. Sparrow's on top of him. Watch that matchup, Sparrow and Fleming. Sparrow will try and take Vern right out of the flow of the game offensively. On the other end, as we said at the top, Oakley will look to clean the glass like 409 and initiate their break.
And John Long really likes this challenge of taking Michael Jordan.
Pick and roll. Chicago did not react. Indiana did a good job defensively. Oakley did not take the ball off the pick and slip that time and go to the hoop. And the Pacers did a good job defending, and now the Bulls will bring it in midcourt with 5 seconds on the clock. 5 on the shot clock. Rory Sparrow knows he's got to initiate something, and they get it back. Fight for it. It's loose. They had it. Ball on the floor. What's it going to be? Jump ball. Well, you know, it's cold here in Chicago, and another cold winter night in Indianapolis. Be sure you stay warm, won't you? Call your Carrier dealer in Indianapolis tomorrow. A warm friend will only do so much. You got to get to that Carrier man. We're just underway in case you joined us. Pacers off a terrific win in Milwaukee on Saturday, 99-97. And going against a team that they nudged out last year in the Central Division, but this year ahead of them in the standings. As they win the tap, Chicago 5 games behind the pace-setting Atlanta Hawks. Pacers 6.5 behind, so they can pick up a game with a win and move to within a half of Chicago if they can come up with one tonight. Long. John with an off night the other night. Stepanovich from the corner drills it, and it's 2-0. So Indiana scoring first.
I always like to see Steepo get off to a good start and hit that first shot.
Offensive foul called against the Chicago Bulls. And this is going to be on Mike Brown. We've got to watch him. He's not had a lot of game experience, so he's going to be subject to a mistake here and there.
Here's the pressure we talked about. Rory Sparrow on Vern Fleming.
And right there, you see Vern took 10 seconds before he gave it up on the first pass. Chicago would love to see him handle the ball, continue to handle it. Vern Fleming, as Herb Williams has it stripped, cleaned and pressed, as they say, and Oakley brings it up and over. Here's Sparrow. Started out with Atlanta. Came from Villanova, traded to the Knicks, came here the last time we came in town, in fact, joined them for the first game. Inside bounce feed to Brown, bumped from behind by Steve Stepanovic. Steve has had problems with fouls on and off this year. Don't want to get him in trouble tonight.
Here they're looking inside, and they get it inside to Mike Brown. And they're calling Steepo for the foul. Boy, I hope he doesn't get in foul trouble early.
Oakley. Inside again. Brown on the turnaround. Stepanovic held his ground. And for the second time, Herb Williams with a rebound and couldn't hang on, knocked away. And this time knocked away by Oakley. And it'll go to Indiana. Charles Oakley.
He's really active tonight, Eddie.
Yeah, I don't like that. He warms up on game day by lifting weights. And the reason why he does that, he says he wants to get tough, he wants to get mean and mentally prepared. They double down from the strong side, deflected, Stepanovic with a block. It's blocked by Sellers. Well, they're doubling down with the strong side guard. You can see that right away. Sellers from the corner. On top, there's Oakley. On the drive, puts it down, Sparrow. Not a bad shooter from there, not this time.
Here it is.
Jordan.
Jordan off the boards. We got to do a little better job than we did in Milwaukee on that defensive backboard. We can't let him get that second shot on us.
Jordan averages 5.5 rebounds a game, 6.7 assists per game, averages over 40 minutes a game, 1.50 block shots per game, and 32.5 points a game. On the glass, no. Jordan with the rebound. Stepanovic digs himself off the deck. Up ahead, beautiful bounce feed. Some bounce feed ahead to Oakley, and fouled on the way in that time by Herb Williams.
This is the man, Michael Jordan, just making a little nice bounce pass to Oakley, running in the lane, and he would have had a stuff shot had it not been for Herbie.
34. That is the second team foul on the Indiana Pacers. Charles Oakley. I could never understand when the deal was made, and that goes to show you I didn't have a good line on Oakley. But when they traded him, he was originally drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Came from Virginia Union, misses a pair of free throws.
They got it back again.
Yeah,
Rory Sparrow.
They're challenging the ball. They're trying to take the ball away every time they get an opportunity, and there's Jordan on the glass. Now, I tell you, Oakley is averaging 14.2 rebounds a game against the league and 15.5 boards every time he's played the Pacers, which is 2 times. But he was also the man that miscued the pass the last time in here with only a few seconds left and gave the Pacers the ball back and a chance to win it 111-110. Herb blocked. 4 seconds on the shot clock, now to 3. They'll have to roll back 2, and they'll put 5 seconds on the shot clock coming back.
Chicago is very active defensively tonight. There's a block by Jordan.
Well, we mentioned to you that they were the number 3 team in the NBA defensively. Herb Williams gets his second foul. Already Herb is in trouble. He's got to stay in the game. (4-2) Chicago. They've scored 4 straight points now. Jordan with Rory Sparrow. Sparrow 6'2", 175 pounds. Look at how high he gets.
He's got it going tonight. His outside shooting has hurt him in the past couple of weeks, but it appears like he's really getting up to the top of his jump, and he's got 6 real quick.
And they lead 6-2. John Long, off night in Milwaukee. We got a foul call on Chicago. Brad Sellers trying to overplay Chuck Person. They're trying to get very physical with Indiana, and they're sticking very close to their men. Overplaying the passing lanes, trying to take the ball, either steal the ball or knock the ball away when the Pacers try to put the ball on the floor. Chuck on a drive. That's the one part of his game that needs some work. And an offensive foul called on Chuck Person.
Brad Sellers at 7'1" gives Chuck trouble because Brad is quick enough to play him, and he's got that big height advantage.
All right, we have a timeout. Chicago with a good start, 6-2. We're in Chicago at the stadium, and we're coming back. So far, Indiana really cold at 1 for 7. Chicago 3 for 8. And Jack's team has turned it over twice. The Chicago Bulls once. They're a cold shooting Indiana team, almost as cold as the weather in the windy one tonight. Here's Rory Sparrow. He's got world-class speed, 440 style. Thought about trying to become an Olympian at one point. Inside they go to Brown. And Brown, nothing but look at Jordan. High over the rack, over the backboard, over everything. Well, he plays at another league level, doesn't he? He is just something incredible. Jordan has 5 rebounds already. 5 already. There he is. He almost traveled. Lauerman was standing right there.
He's a monster. He's a monster when he's got that outside shot going.
Watch Jordan backpedal down the side when he hits that shot. Watch the tongue come hanging out also. Well, Stepanovic and Brown are forearm shivering one another. We got an illegal defense called against Chicago. The battle inside is going to be interesting. And Doug Collins looks like he has sent Mike Brown out there to mug Steve Stepanovic. You got a couple of stevedores in the middle now that are just putting blackjacks on one another. John Long. Long looking for the brush screen by Herb. It was a phantom screen. Not a very good one. Back to Steve. And I should qualify something right here. The man with the ball really is responsible for help setting the screener up quite often. Once he's got those feet planted, he's in trouble if he moves. He gets himself into a jam. There's a foul called on Jordan.
There he goes. He's going for the steal right there.
Back live action. And we got a foul called on Rory Sparrow. Let's go back to that point, Slick. When you have 2 men and you've got a man trying to set a screen for the man with the ball, the man with the ball really has to set the defensive player up so that he can drive him into that screen. You got to help the screener out a little bit.
No question about it. You do it with your feet. You put the defensive man in position to use the screen.
8-2. Ooh, that's not even close. On the floor. Watch it. Steve on the baseline, man. Rolls to the iron. Could have got a pair. Foul on the way in. So the Pacers are trying to chisel their way into a little warmer territory, and they're cold right now.
I don't think Mike Brown, he's a very physical player in the middle, and that's why they put Artis Gilmore on waivers. But if he's going to try to out-physical Steve Stepanovic, out-rough him, he's got his work cut out for him.
Already Jack Ramsey, a little concerned, has made a change. Wayman Tisdale has come in the ball game, replacing Herb Williams. Dave Corzine, agreeing Dave Corzine will replace Mike Brown. So you can see that Brown did a little bit of what Doug Collins wanted. Intimidating up front. Corzine, pretty good player off the bench, 6'11", 265. And Steve Stepanovic, who's a good free throw shooter. We saw him 9 for 9 in Milwaukee the other night, so we know he's made at least his last 11 free throws in succession. Best he's had was 12 for 12 against Atlanta earlier. 8-4 Chicago. Jordan, 6:06 in the quarter. Michael Jordan, Annie Oakley's brother. That's Charles. He didn't shoot like Annie. She had a great shot, didn't she? Wayman tries to put it down, lost it, gets it back, tries it again. He had it in mind. There's a man ahead on the fly. Sparrow. Jordan tries to hit him. Deflected by Stepanovic, picked up by Vern. Sparrow's all over Vern. Inside person trying to go to somebody, and nobody flashed to the hoop. I think he was throwing to a spot thinking Vern was going to continue on down the side of the lane. Nowhere to be found.
That's the first wide open shot Chuck's had tonight. He tried to pass it off.
8-4 Bulls by 4. The Chicago Bulls. This is some team they've got building for the future. Good young kids. Here's a second-year man, Brad Sellers. Knocked down on the baseline is Corzine, the veteran from DePaul. Jordan, North Carolina. No. Here come the Pacers on the fly. 4-1 on the goal rush. Drop lead to the trailer. Person. And he missed it. And he had 2 men out ahead on the front. And it's Chicago's ball. He had 2 men ahead on the wing on the left side by themselves, and they missed the fly.
I really thought we were going to get something out of this. There was the layoff by Long to Person. And he didn't get it up on the board.
Yeah, he tried that hot pretzel, and the figure 8 didn't work. Indiana now 1 for 10 from the floor. 1 for 10. Not good.
Look at this double team on Jordan.
They leave Corzine alone. He can shoot the ball from out there. Transcontinental is Sparrow. Beats Wayman off the dribble. Tries to lay it up off the cup. And the ball is out of bounds. So the ball goes back to Indiana off Chicago. So both teams are a little rusty here at the start. And we have a 4-point Chicago lead. Indiana with a 1 for 10 start from the floor. Fleming trying to get to Stepanovic, and another turnover. That's number 4. And the Bulls trying to take advantage of the Pacers' sloppy play early. Indiana averages 16.6 turnovers a game.
There's what we talked about before the ball game, Eddie. Here's a guy, Corzine, can come off the bench and sting you.
John Long. Man, that's another turnover. John Long just turned it back over. Corzine, in the event you were wondering, is shooting 51% from the floor, averaging 8.6 points per game. And he gave them a big two-pointer. Now they lead by 6. Played by Stepanovic. Need some points out of Steve tonight. Jordan on the clear-out. They double down strong. They triple down strong. Sparrow looks good.
He gives this club another dimension. A lot of speed. He's a decent outside shooter.
Vern Fleming. Chicago leads by 8. Offensive foul on Chuck Person. So another turnover, number 6. How about Kevin Lockery getting cut loose? Wes Unseld in. Reggie Miller's also in. And so is Ron Anderson, who hails from the Windy One.
Brad Sellers has Chuck Person pressing just a little bit.
Now we'll have a timeout. We're going to have Scottie Pippen in the lineup for Chicago when we return, and we'll take a time for a Seagram's Cooler scoreboard. Seagram's Coolers and the Indiana Pacers, where the fun starts. 6 Indiana turnovers have not helped matters in this very slow, phlegmatic start. 12-4 Chicago, but look at the field goal shooting. As the Indiana Pacers are 1 for 10, Chicago 6 for 15, although Michael Jordan is 4 for 6. Now go back and compare the last time they played at Market Square on the 26th of December. He was 6 for 22. So maybe he needs a little cold weather to warm up. Maybe. Corzine, don't like that one. Indiana couldn't hang on. Who's got it? Jordan. Had 3 Pacers standing around, and Jordan gives them a 10-point lead. And he's got 10. They lead by 10, and he's got 10.
He's doing it all tonight.
Yeah, that says pretty much, doesn't it? He's now 5 for 7 from the floor. And we got a reach-around foul called on the Chicago Bulls. Think sports fans, and thank you. You help make Diet Coke the #1 diet soft drink in America. Try Diet Coke right now, just for the taste of it. Scottie Pippen with 1 foul. Chicago with 5. Penalty situation. Here we go. 3:21 to play here in the quarter. 3:21, and the Pacers only have 4 points. Now they got 5 as Ron Anderson. They had a real nice article on Ron in the Chicago newspaper today. It talked about how he never played any high school basketball because he didn't have the confidence. How grocery store as a clerk here in Chicago for 3 years before somebody invited him to the West Coast to try out for the team at Cal State Santa Barbara, and he eventually ended up at Fresno State. And he is a late bloomer, as they say, and he gets 1 of the 2 free throws. Inside, Scottie Pippen. Corzine. Wayman. Come on, boys. 16-5, Chicago. And Corzine with 4. Big game in Atlanta tonight between Detroit and Atlanta in the division. Pacers have a chance to pick up some ground if Detroit can win, and they beat Chicago here. Central Division is tough. You need all the help you can get. Here's Wayman on the finger roll going to the hoop. See, right there is an example of what you'd like to see Wayman be able to do. Jim Paxson comes in, Sparrow goes out. Well, he's a natural left-hander. He's taking the ball baseline right to left slick. He's got to find a way to protect the ball with a body by using the right hand going in the right side. He's not learned to use that right hand enough.
Well, the smaller forwards in this league, and Wayman is really not a big forward. You've got to be able to lay the ball on the floor. You've got to be able to go to your left and to your right. You have to be able to do those things to really be effective.
79% free throw shooter. Wayman gets 1 of 2. 16-6 Chicago. Scottie Pippen over to Oakley. Corzine played by Stepanovic. On the cut. There he is. Simple give and go, and they missed it. And someone was asleep. Someone turned their head on their man. Anderson had Reggie Miller, who just came in the game, wide open by himself. Stepanovic is on the trampoline. Anderson gets it back. Who's got it off the foot of one of the Chicago Bulls? Well, they're starting to warm up, keep it alive. Reggie's in there now. Reggie, Vern, Tisdale, Ron Anderson, Steve Stepanovic. Scottie Pippen is in for them. Pippen, incidentally, 6'7", 210, the rookie from Central Arkansas. Miller tries to go to the baseline and hangs one up after good defense. The side door, the back door was closed. He stepped around, looked in the window, and popped in a little baseline jump shot. Corzine trying to get it inside. Bad pass, knocked away. Stepanovic, Wayman, Reggie, Fern. Handling in that order. Reggie down to Wayman. That's where he wants to be. That's his shot. On the rim, no. They've got it. Oakley had it, lost it. Pippen. Reggie steps up there. They almost travel with the ball. Very sloppy play. Paxson from Notre Dame.
There he is.
Jordan from North Carolina.
Air Jordan.
18-8. Chicago going to make another substitution right now. It'll be Horace Grant, another rookie. Look at Corzine. Good defense for a while. But he kept moving. Had he planted his feet and stayed there, there wouldn't have been a problem. But he kept moving as Reggie tried to take it out a little deeper. And Corzine trying to continue with him that time. He got caught. Oakley out, Grant in.
Here's the block being stepped by Stepanovic. And here comes Reggie right around. Corzine stepped out. He was moving, and they called a foul.
Horace Grant, he's 6'10", 220 is in, replacing Oakley. He's from Clemson. Chicago's been over the limit now for some time. And Reggie Miller makes it 18-10.
We're going to throw our trap at him now, which has been very successful against Milwaukee and against the Bucks and against the Bulls the last time. In Indianapolis, it was effective.
Well, look at Corzine trying to lay the ball down.
Oh, he's hurting us.
I don't believe it.
He's lighting us up.
He's got no business putting the ball on the floor and taking it to the middle like that.
He doesn't know where he is.
He thinks he's back at DePaul University, and Ray Myers saying, "Attaboy, big guy." 20-10. Chicago by 10. Anderson, Stepanovic, that ought to do it.
We're moving it better. We're moving the ball better.
John Paxson. Paxson, 6'2", 185, originally drafted by San Antonio from Notre Dame. He's a 5-year guy, averaged 11.3 last year, not quite that much this year.
He's not going to miss those shots tonight.
No reason for him to average that much when the man that just shot it and hit it is taking all the shots. Paxson is averaging a little over 10. 22-12, the Chicago Bulls. A very low-scoring first quarter for the Pacers. Good move by Stepanovic, and he goes to the line on the foul.
Boy, he took that one to the hoop.
Boy, that's what you like to see. I love to see a big guy as mobile as Steve take it to the cup.
Here's a 7-footer going, right-handed 7-footer going to his left. Laying it on the floor.
Now, he does so much better a job at doing that than this man you're looking at, Corzine, but you can't deny that Corzine has been very effective tonight.
Well, Corzine has the advantage of having a Michael Jordan who everybody's double and triple teaming and leaving him wide open for those wide open shots.
Yeah, Oakley's coming in. Corzine goes out. Corzine looks a little winded. They get him out of there in a hurry.
Boy, did he do a job.
Yes, he did. He picked up 2 quick fouls, however, and 6 points. Well, Corzine, who at the beginning of the year was sharing time with Artis Gilmore. Artis was waived recently, and there was a story or a note in the Chicago paper today about possibly Indiana talking to Artis Gilmore, Indiana and Milwaukee. So with 23 seconds, 22-13, and the press is on. A little pressure here. Jordan, he'll try and work it down for one good shot. 14 on the shot clock. On they come, very close to the wire. Look at him hang. He's incredible when he hangs. Pippen blocked by Fleming. Get it back, Stepanovic. 2 seconds, 1 second. Steve gets it away. It goes. And it misses everything but the floor. All right. For the good fans down in Indiana, and all you folks that are trying to huddle together and stay warm, the Pacers have got a little room here to close in on the Bulls. They're trailing at 22-13 after the first quarter of play. And so the Indiana Pacers will try and improve on a 17% field goal shooting percentage in the first quarter. They were 3 for 18. 7 for 10 at the line, however. Chicago, nothing at the line. The Pacers turn it over 6 times. The Bulls, 46% on 11 for 24 field goal shooting. Clint Wheeler starting at a guard. Down to Wayman. Wayman on Grant. Good move. No. Rebound. Who's got it? Loose ball foul, Indiana. Michael Jordan had 14 points in the quarter. Stepanovic had 7. Person had none. Jordan, incidentally, the leading scorer in the NBA. He's also leading the NBA in steals at 3.5 a game. So he can do a little of everything. Tisdale with 1 foul. Pacers with 1 here in the second quarter. Paxson starting with Oakley. Inside they go to Grant. On top they've got Scottie Pippen, Rory Sparrow. 1 second on the shot clock when he let it go, and Indiana's got it. They're going to call a 24-second violation. This Pacer telecast brought to you in part by Chevrolet. We invite you to take the test drive of the decade in the all-new full-size Chevy pickup at your Greater Indianapolis Chevy dealer.
There's some mismatches in there right now. I think we can get all we want inside.
Offensive foul. Wayman Tisdale, he's got 2. Jack's got a problem now because Wayman's got a couple of fouls. Herb Williams has got a couple of fouls, and he's got nothing out of that forward position so far. Stuart Gray in the game, starting in the middle here in the quarter. Ron Anderson for Chuck Person. Clint Wheeler, Reggie Miller. There's John Paxson. Got the pick and roll. On the follow off the miss shot. Gray falls down. Back to Grant from Paxson. He traveled.
He walked with it.
Yes, he did. Hey, not to digress, but how about those Los Angeles Lakers? 11 in a row. 22-6 now. And Atlanta and Detroit. Atlanta having won 5 straight. That's a big game, as I mentioned before, down in Atlanta tonight. I'll tell you about some of the other things happening in the league later on. Ron Anderson. Nice looking shot. In and out. Hoop just didn't want it. Paxson. Paxson to Pippen. Let him down the far side. Pippen had Grant or Oakley on the baseline. Now reverses to the point. Reggie Miller all over Paxson. Take right, drive left. Inside, knocked away by Wheeler. Picked up by Grant. No good. Boy, he got about 9 feet on a 7-footer that time, didn't he?
I think we're going to be able to get all we want in here with Wayman.
I think we have to go to Wayman. And he almost got a dish off that time to Anderson, who's delaying on the baseline, but a foul call before that by Scottie Pippen.
Wayman really laid the ball on the floor here. He went to his right around Grant, and I think we can get that play right now. I don't think Grant can handle Tisdale inside, and we should be able to get something out of Reggie Miller with John Paxson on it.
Wayman Tisdale. Wayman, a fellow who can score some points for you. He's the second leading scorer on the Indiana team. There's Charles Oakley. Puts that towel. He doesn't need a towel. Towel's not big enough. You got to get one of those beach towels for him to cover that body.
A blanket.
Oh, that's a wide load, I'm telling you. Little pressure backcourt, Indiana. 22-15.
Oh, we almost had a steal there with
Clint Wheeler. A hustling little guy right there, Clint Wheeler, who is probably the 11th or 12th man on this team, and he's trying to prove his worth. Paxson, Reggie Miller trying to defend, and the ball wouldn't go down. Stuart Gray, 1 step off the rebound and a dribble and a clear up to Wheeler. Wheeler can handle the ball pretty well. I thought he did some good things in that Milwaukee game.
Oh, he's been giving us some quality minutes off the bench.
Ron Anderson, there's Clint, back to Anderson, found him open. That's a good play by a guard right there. Anderson couldn't hang on, picked up by Grant, scooped ahead to Pippen. Wheeler back, deflects the pass. Sparrow, Sellers, follow jam attempt, Pippen. And Wayman comes out of there. Wayman down the middle on the fly. Hit Anderson on the hand, deflected into the hands of Wheeler. Boy, the play is not good right now. Paxson playing on the very cold boards of the Chicago Stadium over the ice, occupied by the Hawks.
He's got him inside again.
Gee, that ball just won't go down. Those rims are cold. Up to Pippen. Look out, Reggie. I thought Scotty might try and put it down and take it to the hole on him. Rory Sparrow. Nice release, and what you just saw was about 2 minutes of no scoring and a little frustration on either end. And now it's 24-15, Chicago by 9. We're going to get Person back in the game as soon as we can.
We're getting some good shots now. We're just going to have to knock some of them down.
That's all. Stewart is out of position. Stewart was way off that time. Not even close. And Chicago trying to bang the boards and does. Block shot by Stuart Gray. Inside, tough shot. Scott Pippen.
They really like him. They feel like he will end up being a big guard. They say he's the best passer on their ball club.
I saw another trade rumor in the paper today in Chicago. Herb Williams for, who was that? Hinson, Roy Hinson of Philadelphia. Reggie Miller missing. He and Paxson are starting to shove pretty good. Saved by Sparrow. The ball was not out of bounds. Inside baseline. Try the reverse. Foul call, Indiana. Chicago will be at the line. A couple of other notes in the NBA about possible trades, deals. Nothing confirmed.
Here's Pippen floating all the way underneath. And Stuart Gray grabbed him on the arm, but with Rory Sparrow, does add something to their ball club. Boy, he gives them that one big thing, that speed to get the ball down the floor.
Wayman Tisdale out of there. Wayman had a cold shooting first turn on the floor. Oh, Tisdale comes off, has 3 points, and they're all free throws. He missed, I believe, about 4 field goal attempts. Scottie Pippen at the line. Pippen, a 59% free throw shooter this year. There's another kid that was a late bloomer. Didn't make the high school team. His sister was a high school All-American. He wasn't much of a player, and he was a student manager at Central Arkansas as a freshman and grew 7 inches between his freshman and sophomore year. Reggie Miller, boy, he's fighting. Reggie's really struggling to get the shot. Paxson is all over him, and that time Reggie pulled the foul out of Paxson, and that's a good pro move that Reggie just made right there.
It was a good pro move, and here it is here. He feels like he can shoot over top. He feels like he can get up over John Paxson. But I'll tell you one thing about Johnny. He's a tough little competitor from Notre Dame, and he's going to give him a battle.
9 of 12 now at the line. Michael Jordan back. Indiana's free throw shooting is not good. 9 of 13 making. Now it's 10 of 14. Normally they're a pretty good free throw shooting team, 78%. Oh, what a pass. Jordan couldn't hang on, but picked up on a busted play that time by Brad Sellers. Crowd loved that one, and it's 30 to 16. Indiana falling down by 14 points. Stuart Gray trying to back screen for Clint Wheeler. Offense is really bogged down.
That's it. That's what we need. We got to open that middle up a little bit. We got to hit that from outside.
30 to 18. It's the first field goal of this quarter, I believe. That's correct. And we are almost 5 minutes into the quarter. And we were 1 for 18 in the first quarter, 3 for 18 in the first quarter. Well, the Pacers really chilly so far. Short. Gray has it. Gets a handle on it. And Wheeler tried to turn. You see what Chicago's doing? Chicago doing a good job of challenging the ball. If they can't get the rebound, they're looking to challenge the ball. And the Pacers are going to have to tend to that ball a whole lot better than what they've done. Time for the WZPL scoreboard. Continuous hits, fun, and free money. More winners more often on 99.5 ZPL, and there's the youngest coach in the NBA, Doug Collins. Say, Pacer fans, get the latest Pacer news and ticket information by calling the Pacer hotline. The number is area code 317-231-2000 any time of day or night. Now in the second quarter, the Pacers 1 for 7.
Oh, big drive.
2 for 8.
That's what he does best. That's Fleming on the drive, right up the middle.
5 for 26 so far in the game, Indiana. Chicago's only 3 for 11, 27%. Chicago's out-rebounded the Pacers 9-4. Fleming's first 2 points of the game. Grant. Boy, there was nothing but twine on that baby. Stepanovic came back in the game. Steve has had a lot of points scored off him here tonight. This man, Corzine, and now Grant, who was on him that time. Good move by Stepanovic. Oh, the left-hand hook. Boy, do I love to see him shoot that shot, and I'd like to see him do it more often. He's got some talent with that hand. Horace Grant, 54. Another rookie, as we mentioned, 220 pounds, averaged 21 points a game. And he was just a terrific player at Clemson over his career.
Boy, their young players have a tremendous amount of potential. Sellers, Oakley, Grant.
ACC Player of the Year last year. That's saying something for Grant.
Pippen.
Oakley is back in. Grant goes out. 32-20. Herbie Williams back in. Needs some points out of you, Herb. And he can't get the rebound, and he's got 2 fouls. Oakley had position. Oakley with 3 rebounds. Backdoor. And Seller had to change his shot on that one, and Herb Williams a little late getting back to his man, and Sellers now with 4. Let's pay a little attention to the matchups now. Person and Michael Jordan. Jordan giving Person all he can handle. Down to Stepanovic. Good move by Stipo. Good power move inside. And Jordan leaving his man and running at the man with the ball in the low post. 9 points for Steve Stepanovic. 34-22 by 12 Chicago. They've led by as many as 14. Jordan. In and out. He'll go to the line. And here's a little trivia for you, Slick. Here's one you ought to know. With the recent waiving of Artis Gilmore by the Chicago Bulls, the number of former ABA players still active in the NBA dropped to 3. I'll give you a moment to think about it.
Well, one of them is Moses Malone.
That's
one
good.
is Maurice Lucas.
That's good.
And the other one is one of the Jones boys.
You got it. Ah, yeah. Little trivia. ABA trivia. Caldwell
Jones.
35-22, Chicago. Michael Jordan has 15 points. Is he something? Jordan has had a couple of semi-nights against the Pacers. And not so tonight. Stepanovic on Brad Sellers. Chuck Person. Chicago by 14. They've had that lead 3 times. Nice. There it is again. That's the 3rd time Stepanovic has gone to the hole. This time with the left hand. He's got 11. He's really having a good scoring night. Taking advantage of the young man Brown. Uh-oh, look out. And how does he get that shot off? And then when he does from the craziest angles, I mean, this guy,
he's got all kinds of body control, and he got Chuck off his feet a little bit, and boy, is he a dandy.
He's got a style right out of those Saturday afternoon cereals you used to see when you were a kid at the movies, right?
He's got everybody in the country wearing those shoes.
Yeah, how about those Bermudas he wears for basketball shorts? Michael Jordan, more and more guys are starting to go to those longer shorts right out of the Sonny Liston wardrobe.
Yeah.
Remember Sonny Liston when he was fighting? He wore those long trunks, looked like Humphrey Pennyworth.
Everybody was watching that right hand, though.
Yeah, that right hand. And all of a sudden, you drop that left hand down and hit you right in the chest, drive you into next year. 38-24, Chicago by 14. Vern Fleming, Chuck Person, Stepanovic, Long, and Williams, the starting 5 for Indiana. Pacers trying to get it going here. They're trying to turn the battery over, and they can't. And a foul reaching in, the Chicago Bulls. That's the 4th team foul on Chicago. And that's the 2nd on Jordan.
We're working real hard now trying to force the ball in deep to Chuck Person with Michael Jordan on him, and I don't think it's going to work.
Jordan is 8 for 11, incidentally, from the floor. Steepo 4 for 9.
This will work.
Oh, that's a nice little screen down.
We just can't see that.
Those are all good shots.
Those are good shots.
They're getting good shots, and the ball just is not falling for them. 38-24. The Chicago Bulls with the lead in the ball. Rory, Sparrow. They don't score a lot of points, but they don't give up a lot either. And Jordan shoved from behind by Vern Fleming. Team foul 4, Indiana. Vern Fleming, number 1. And with 4:08 to play in the half, a very low-scoring effort by the Pacers.
It's a low-scoring effort. We're going to have to stay in it defensively, and maybe we can get back in the ball game. But right now, they're playing Michael Jordan at a forward spot.
Jordan played by Vern. They take him down on the box, and Vern's going to have to defend him and get help from Long on the double down. Back to Paxson. Sparrow.
He'll hit it.
From there.
He'll hit it.
Oh, he's got a nice release on his shot. Watch the way he continues right toward the basket. Vern tries to reverse the dribble. There's what we talked about. Sparrow all over Vern. Try to take the Pacers out of the flow of their offense. Chuck Person on top to go Long. Long to Herb. Attaboy, Herb. You like to see Herb Williams get the ball, go straight up with the shot rather than lay it on the floor, and he's got his first 2 points of the game.
And that was a nice pass by John Long.
John Long chasing the ball. Sparrow played by Fleming. Over to Charles Oakley. Paxson on the baseline. Back to Sparrow. Looks good again.
He's got a hot hand tonight. He's not that good a shooter. I don't think he's missed one.
Atlanta leads Detroit in the second quarter, 43-40. Milwaukee 27, the Clippers 21 in the first. Chuck Person, bango. Sparrow is 4 for 7, incidentally. 42-28. Indiana trailing by 14. They've trailed by as many as 16. Paxson shoehorns it to Jordan.
There's trouble.
Forget it. Well, now there's another shot out of his trick bag. That was a steam shovel layup where he had to come inside and scoop it up and in.
He does. He's got them all. He's got the whole repertoire.
16-point lead. Double down. Vern forces the pass in over Sparrow to Herb and back to Chuck, and the three-pointer's off. Stepanovic flying from nowhere. Oakley gets it.
Let's watch this.
2-on-1 goal rush. Knocked away. They couldn't pull off the 2-1 break by John Long. Good defense by John. And a hanger on the glass that time by Chuck Person. That's a 4-point swing by Indiana. Chicago could have taken advantage of a 2-1 rush. And they couldn't do it. And Long taking it away, and Chuck banking it in now with 2:05 to play in the quarter. And in the half, they lead by 14. Sellers. Taken away by Vern, intended for Jordan. 2-on-1 rush. Can they score?
That's two.
They do. Now they finished the break nicely the last 2 times off of steals, and they've initiated their break by getting the ball off of turnovers.
And it seems like every team in the league now is starting to play a switching defense. Centers end up guarding guards and guards on forwards.
44-32, Chicago. Rory Sparrow over to Jordan. They double him in the corner. Use the corner as an extra man. Reverse it, weak side. Now becomes strong. Sparrow lost the ball. 3rd turnover. In the middle, Vern. Challenged by Jordan. Can he lay it in? Too tough. Indiana gets it back. Person. So 3 Chicago turnovers, 6 Indiana points, 22nd timeout, a frustrated Doug Collins, and it's a 10-point Chicago lead from 16. They've paired 6 off the lead by taking advantage of Chicago miscues.
Here it is. Chuck steals the ball. It's Vern, and he's going for it. Hits the back of the binge, and there's Chuck on the rebound right here. A little spin and a layup underneath.
And doesn't it make a difference when you turn the ball over and are able to take advantage of it? And Chicago's now turned it over 5 times, Indiana 1. And now Chicago has taken a full timeout. So a timeout on the floor. Chicago 44, Indiana 34. Now Thursday, the Pacers return to Market Square. They'll go against the tough Milwaukee Bucks, the first of 3 straight at home. And Saturday, the LA Lakers, 11 straight wins right now are there. And on Monday, the Los Angeles Clippers take on the Pacers. All 3 games start at 7:30, and there are good seats available for both the Bucks and the Clippers games. Turnovers in the quarter. Chicago 5, Indiana 1. And that's made a big difference and enabled the Pacers to close the gap. Chicago now 8 turnovers, Indiana 7 in the game. Well, in that game in Milwaukee the other night, the Pacers beat the Bucks, and Milwaukee turned it over only 9 times. All right, Indiana now, defensively. 56 seconds in the half. Inside to the baseline. Pacers chasing the ball. Paxson trying to lean in. And he hit that with 1 second left, a 3-pointer. That was nothing but a Hail Mary. And he jackknifed it up there with 1 second on the shot clock. All he could do was get it up there, and it's a 3-pointer. Blind feed that time. Person looking for Vern Fleming. Nobody there. They come down with a man advantage. Watch it. 47-34, Chicago. There's Jordan. You know he's going to go between the legs with that tricky dribble. Back to Sparrow. Not this time. Good block out. Stepanovic on Oakley. Up to John Long. Finish it off with 19 here in the quarter. No. Stepanovic.
Yes.
Good if it goes. No, it won't, but he'll go to the line. That's what I like, the big guy following the play in.
Boy, he does that well. He really goes to that offensive board. There's the shot taken. Here comes Stipo. It'd been nice to get that 3-pointer back with a hoop and a free throw here.
Steve Stepanovic now trying to check. He's got 5 rebounds, I believe. Getting better all the time, this guy.
Ooh. He's yanking that free throw just a little bit.
Yeah, let's see. I want to check some. That's the... well, he had a string of 11 in a row going, and he's missed his last 2. Herb Williams. You know, Herb, he has a hard time seeing. I notice he squints a lot. Does he wear contacts?
Yeah, he wears contacts.
Okay. 47-35. Looking over to the bench, he really seems to have a hard time focusing in on Jack. There's Jordan. Overplayed by Long. Reverses off the screen. Look at him on the baseline.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, it's so pretty. I mean, that's as pretty as a swan in the lake in August down in southern Georgia. If you can follow that logic. A wild shot at the end for naught. But the Chicago Bulls built the lead and have hung on. They led by 16, and now they lead by 14. At halftime, it's the Chicago Bulls 49, the Indiana Pacers 35. Now, you know, we keep telling you about that rough Central Division. And boy, it is a tough one. And as you get an idea, we'll show you what the standings look like coming into the game tonight. And of course, the key game, Atlanta and Detroit, we told you, Atlanta leads with a 21-7 record and a 5-game winning streak. Detroit a game and a half behind. Then comes Milwaukee 5 out, Chicago 5 out, Indiana 6.5. Well, watch out, because here comes the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are really a very fine young team and have beaten some very strong teams of late. So the Central Division doesn't get any easier. And we'll be talking more about it in the days to come. Halftime, 49-35, Chicago. Stay tuned.
It's time now for Vitale's Views with Dick Vitale.
I really have a great deal of envy for coaches like John McLeod, and you look at Chuck Daly with the Detroit Pistons, Casey Jones with the Boston Celtics, Bill Fitch out in Houston. You say, why envy? I envy these guys because they've been able to test time. They've been able to meet the challenge, the emotional drains, the up and downs of coaching in the NBA. Over at airports, traveling all over the nation, and still able to get their teams to perform and to excel. Think about this. There's another veteran I really envy, a guy by the name of the Doctor. That's right, the Dr. Jack Ramsey. Ramsey has brought tremendous stability to the Indiana Pacer organization. One of the greatest moves Donnie Walsh made. A tremendous move getting a guy like Chuck Person. A tremendous move getting a young rookie by the name of Reggie Miller. But even a really great move getting Jack Ramsey to be the leader. Over 800 wins in this league. Amazing. Second in all time to Arnold Red Auerbach, the father of the NBA. And who knows, in a couple of years, Mr. Ramsey could be Uno #1 as he's about 100 W's behind Red Auerbach. I say a toast to you, Jack Ramsey. Certainly one of the great coaches of all time in the NBA, and the people in Indiana are lucky to have a Jack Ramsey. We'll be back with more Pacer basketball right after this.
Vitale's Views with Dick Vitale.
At any given game, thousands of Pacer fans can be found cheering on the home team. But if you look very carefully, you'll find a small group of Indianapolis public school students cheering not only for the Pacers, but for Chuck Person. Why? Because they have earned a place in Chuck Person's VIP corner, sponsored by Taco Bell. The purpose of the special section is to encourage these kids to improve in school, and local educators say it's working.
I teach 60 children a day in a remedial math lab, and I needed a way to instill some motivation, desire to finish work, to come to school, to become better behaved, and gave short-term points for each student as they achieve different various activities. Those students, at the end of a period of time, would get to come to the game. About 1/3 get to come to a game. For many of these students, it's the first time they've been in this building, although they're all familiar with the Pacers, and get a chance to get out and do some things that they normally wouldn't get a chance to do.
Educators say this incentive program has improved not only the work performance of students, but in some cases their general attitudes. One student has done so well, he is no longer in remedial courses. He now has a regular course of study.
Tell me what it was like for you when you used to come to Chuck's VIP corner.
It was fun. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot how to do math, and it was fun in the classroom because I learned a lot. And I'm better in math than now. I don't have to be in the classroom no more. So I'm in my regular class, and I'm doing better than what I was doing last year.
Representatives of Taco Bell say they are pleased to be involved in this project because it helps children.
I'm a father of 5 children, and I just love being involved with things that benefit children. And I think Chuck has taken a leadership position in this with the Pacers, and we're just excited about being able to contribute and help children achieve new heights.
Help them achieve new heights, indeed. Would you agree with that pretty much?
Oh, definitely. With the amount of employees that come through our restaurants, we felt the need to work with them more, help them more, give them another incentive besides just working in our restaurants. So.
And the man himself, Chuck Person, says he wants to provide kids with an opportunity he never had.
Well, when I was growing up, basically, I didn't have the luxury of going to see a professional game or getting to see the other side of life. And I feel like it's the least I could do to provide some tickets with the help from Taco Bell to get some kids in here to watch some games and hopefully better their lives.
Officials at IPS say their program has been so successful that plans are now underway for its expansion.
Pacer basketball. Tonight's second half is brought to you in part by Miller Lite. For great taste, there is only one light beer. By Chevrolet and your Central Indiana Chevrolet dealers, the heartbeat of America. By the Coca-Cola Bottling Company. With Coca-Cola, you can't beat the feeling. By Marsh Supermarkets. At Marsh, we value you. And by GTE. Make the smart business call to GTE for solutions to your business communications problems.
Now, don't forget the NBA All-Star Game is coming up. And we'd like to remind you that right now the NBA West All-Star voting looks like this. Alex English, Calvin Nat of Denver at the forwards. The Denver fans evidently are really getting out and pumping that ballot box because Nat's not even playing much. Hakeem Olajuwon of Houston starting in the middle. Magic of the Lakers and Darrell Griffith of Utah, the starting guards. Over in the East, you've got Dominique from Atlanta starting in a forward, along with Larry Bird of Boston, Moses Malone of Washington, Michael Jordan of Chicago, Isaiah Thomas of Detroit. Now, Magic, with 269,000 plus votes, a leading vote getter, but the man that leads everyone is right here, Michael Jordan, with 442,000 votes. Isaiah Thomas is the second guard in the NBA East, but Doc Rivers of Atlanta is close behind. Remember, this is a fan vote. You know, you're going to get a few discrepancies in there. So why don't we get in there and support some of our own people, like Chuck Person. The next time you come down to a game when Milwaukee's in town 2 nights from now, come on down and start pumping a few ballots in the box for good old Chuck. See if we can get a Pacer on that all-star roster. Let's take a look at the team statistics. Chicago in the first half, 50%. Indiana, very paltry, 30% on 12 of 40. And they had only made 5 of their first 31 shots. In the free throw area, the Pacers better, 11 for 16. Chicago, 4 of 6, 67% for them, and 69 for Indiana. And the rebounding, a noticeable difference, 23-19 Chicago. Turnovers, Indiana 8, Chicago 7. But the big story is that in the first half, Indiana got 2 points out of Herb Williams, not enough. John Long got a donut delivered to him. Oakley also with nothing, Brown nothing, Sellers with 4, so they have a few of their big people who are not really being that productive. And Michael Jordan with 22, Steve Stepanovich with 12, and Chuck Person with a mere 6 for Indiana. Well, we're set to go, and here's the way they'll start with Chuck Person, Herb Williams, John Long, Steve Stepanovich, and Vern Fleming for Indiana. They'll go with their same starting 5, Rory Sparrow, Michael Jordan. It'll be Mike Brown, Charles Oakley, and Brad Sellers. Pacers have led once. That was 2-0. They've trailed by as many as 16 on 4 occasions. Chuck, not there yet. Stepanovich can't get it back, but a loose ball foul called against the Chicago Bulls. Let's take the statistics one step further as Mike Brown picked up his 3rd foul. The starters for Chicago have outscored the Pacers 34-24. Their bench has outscored Indiana 15-11. So there are all the numbers you need. Now let's see if they can reverse things here in the second half for the Indiana Pacers. Fleming, hot potato, gets good pressure, lays it up and in. That was real good recovery there by Vern Fleming, and he's got 6 points.
And that's a good start for the second half. We can get back in this ball game.
49-37 now, Chicago. Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Been a great road team this year, 8-7 at home. They're 8-5.
Michael Jordan scored more points in the first half, 22, than he did the last game in Indianapolis. For the entire game, he had 17.
(49-37). 24-second clock rotated off the kickball. Here's Jordan. Long fights up off a screen by Sellers and gets back to get to the man. Indiana playing very sticky defense now. Jordan, tremendous hang time, and then knocked away by Stepanovich. His jumping ability, his vertical jump, is something that I have not seen. Believe me, this doesn't sound like I'm stretching it. In the 20 years I've been in the league, I have not seen a guy that size, or anybody for that matter, vertically go up after the ball and time it just right. And that time he's fouled.
And what Eddie's talking about, sports fans, is from a standstill without a run. He's going straight up in the air. And he goes up with the best of them or higher than.
And here he is. #1 steal man in the NBA, #1 point scorer in the NBA, leads his team in every offensive category there is. And even when he doesn't shoot the free throws purely, he's smart enough to send it up there softly and let it rumble around the iron and down. 86% at the line. And this one, there's no question about this one. Vern Fleming. Fleming, who had 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists versus Milwaukee. Had a good game on Saturday night. John Long, he's chilly. Scoreless so far. Nice dish off to Herb Williams. Beautiful creation that time by Long to Williams, who's got 4. John Long made that one happen, 51-39. Chicago. Brown. Sparrow. Good back screen by Brown. There's Jordan again. Not this time. And down goes Stepanovic, and Brown comes tumbling down over the top. And Brown gets another foul. That's 4. Hey, fans, register at Mars Supermarkets in the pick-and-go sweepstakes. Win a trip to Phoenix to see the Pacers, or maybe a trip to Chicago to see the All-Star game, or a trip to the NBA Finals, or possibly win a some Pacer merchandise. No purchase necessary. The pick-and-go sweepstakes at Mars. You think that's an easy card to read? Try that baby sometime. Out of bounds, Chicago on the Indiana turnover. Corzine back in the game for Doug Collins. Pick-and-go purchase. All that stuff, put all those words together. Make you want to go to your orthodontist and make sure your dentures are working right, huh? There's Sellers.
I think I'd rather see Mike Brown in the game than I would Corzine.
Oakley. Not a good shot. Does not have a good touch. That's got to be the flaw of his game. John Long needs some scoring out of him. Desperately need John to get in it. Stepanovic.
Let's see what Stipo does with this.
Oh, in and out. Hoop didn't want it. Person, block shot, take it up, lay it in.
Stayed right with it.
8 points for Chuck. Need more out of him also. Jack Ramsey, the 20-year coach, cheering his guys on as Fleming knocked it away.
He got it down to 10, Eddie.
51-41 score of the ball game. Steve Stepanovic had a good game in Milwaukee with 17 points and another good game tonight. And his little brother, Charles Oakley, 0 for 3. Jordan, don't want to tell you what he's got. Back to Sparrow, defense good. Vern doing a good job. Spin loose, inside, Corzine, stumbles, falls, travel with the ball.
Well, we got a break there.
That was a good call by Joey. More often than not, and the reason why Bobby said that is that they'll give him this kind of a call.
This was a great pass by Rory Sparrow.
He's got possession. That's a great call.
He walked with it before he could get it in the hole.
You won't see them make that call very often.
Here's Vern. Here's what he does best.
Love it. Offensive foul. That's too bad.
Oakley stepped in.
He's got 2 personals now, Jack. Plenty of time. Jack looks like he went out and got himself a new blazer, a new shirt. Looks pretty natty today, doesn't he?
Well, I tell you, he's got a wardrobe.
GQ. Dr. GQ. May have to call him that from now on. We haven't had a boom baby tonight. We got to have a rally to get one of those.
Oh, we got to get in that to get that done.
Oakley.
Oh, there's a charge.
Foul.
That's like a Mack truck running over you.
I want to tell you something.
I keep talking about how tough Stipo is. It didn't even faze him. He took the full blow.
He looked like an 8-year-old kid with a pin in his hand heading for that piñata, didn't he? He wanted to bust that baby loose and get everything he could. Person.
Oh,
John,
boy.
Got to have one, John. There it is.
That's it, Johnny boy.
I say hi to all the gals in the Pacers office that work so hard. Barbara, Sue, Nancy, Lanita, Wendy. They do a great job. They really do. Don't hear too much about them, but they're behind the scenes. And I know I missed a few, but believe me, we think about you a lot. 2 points now for John Long and a timeout call. It's 51-43. Hang on. The Pacers are climbing that wall, and hopefully they're going to be right on top. Jack looks like someone just stole his wallet.
You're looking at one of the top triathlon men in the world.
Pretty nice guy besides. Hey, group sales, 263-2100. 20 or more as a group. Give us a call, won't you? 263-2100. The Pacer Group Sales Office. Sparrow, Sellers. Oakley sets up inside. Brown with 4 fouls. Oakley with 3. Corzine missed it, gets it back. Foul him, do something. And on the field goals so far, Indiana 4 of 7, 57%. Chicago 0 of 3 here in the third quarter. So that's a pretty rounded out, 0.000%.
Well, we escaped that time. Corzine had an easy one.
Yes, he did. Vern
so it's a good foul.
Fleming on the foul. That's 2 on the Pacers, 2 on Chicago in the quarter. Watch it. There goes the Springer on the glass. Not this time. Gets his own missed shot. Is he incredible?
There he is again.
Fleming. And that time Jordan had to change the shot and release it on the way down, and it's tough for anybody to make that. John Long. Down to Herb. Puts it down, double down, ball on the floor. Boy, you got to get it out. You had 2 men open. Up there comes Sparrow with Sellers open underneath. Offensive foul. Boy, there's a play that you don't expect to see a veteran guard blow. He had a man all by himself, low left, and he opts to take it himself.
Here he comes right now, and the man is set up in there waiting on him. He has to be able to make that pass. He's got to make the play.
Well, he's got to do something with the ball before he gets that close to the basket, too. You allow one man to play 2 people when you get down in there. Not good judgment by Sparrow.
Hit it, Steepo.
Want to have it. Want to have it. Get it back. Open man, John.
Oh, here's the one we want.
That's off.
Oh, Johnny.
Here they come. They kick it away. Who's got it? Ball on the floor. Out of bounds. It'll go to Indiana. It'll go to Indiana. Guard points, Chicago 39, Indiana 15.
No, I don't think the referee saw that one. We slipped up on him with one there.
Chicago, Jordan has outscored the Pacer guards by 9 points. 24-15. 51-43. Cut it from 16 to 8. One hoop here looked mighty nice, John. Vern, I can't take advantage of it. Had plenty of chances, though, didn't it?
Our outside shooting's gone on vacation.
It's a heck of a time to go on vacation. It's 45 degrees below zero with a wind chill. This ain't no resort, baby.
I said it the wrong way. I said it just went south on us.
Steve Stepanovich with the foul. That's 2 on him. And that's 4 on Indiana. I'll make it 3.
We need a defensive play here.
51-43. There's the help defense. They're doubling him. He's got to get it away. Finds Sparrow loose. Boy, he'd handle that nicely. Jordan really did a good job with that. They don't want Chuck to handle the ball. Look at Sparrow all over Vern, and they're making Chuck bring the ball up the floor by putting Sparrow all over Vern. Person. Jordan with a foul. Jordan said, I got all ball. Michael Auerman said, I'm running this show, Michael. Now you're going to bring 18,000 plus people down in my head because you can't do anything wrong here.
Here's Chuck going baseline. He's really fighting it. Ah, Michael, come on. You got him right on the arm. He's trying to incite the fans.
53-43, Chicago. Chuck Person. That was too hard. You can see that. Indiana's 11 of 17 at the line. Got to make the free throws. Person had 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists in 39 minutes in Milwaukee. Missed them both. Missed them both. 53-43. The Pacers have had their shot at trying to get it down, and they're burning up a lot of fuel right now. They have a tendency to run out of gas when you have to play catch-up from way behind. Oakley, go ahead and shoot it, Charles. I like our chances when you shoot. Sparrow. In and out. Hoop didn't want it. There's Oakley. Can't hang on. Vern.
Oh, boy.
Off his hand out of bounds. But it was because Sparrow was right there. Vern is saying, Herb, not so hard. And Herb is saying, but I saw him coming up. If I don't get it there in a hurry, he steps into the lane and takes it away.
Boy, Eddie, that's really been a factor tonight. Rory Sparrow just keeping constant pressure on Vern Fleming.
53-43. That's the score of the game. Jordan again. Wow, Herbie had really been doing a good job on block shots in the last 4 games with 18. And that time he gets a big rebound. There's Vern, lane is open, has to spin free. Stepanovich, Chicago defense is really bothering Indiana now. Really causing a problem. Here they come, Sparrow in the middle, left wing, right wing trailer, foul. You see the guard curl to the middle on the break that time and set up the wings perfectly, and then he dropped the feed to the trailer on the right wing.
This is Rory Sparrow coming up the middle. A nice feed off to Brad Sellers, but the big thing is a good fast break guard has got to make those plays so you keep those big men running those lanes like that.
5:32 to play here in the third. Sellers has missed. Well, he hasn't missed any. Actually, he's missed one field goal, and he's got 5 points. 5 points for Brad Sellers, Ohio State. And I was the most surprised guy in the world when they drafted him #1 out of Ohio State. I really was. Look at how Sparrow is making Vern handle the ball. And now you got 15 seconds on the shot clock. Took 9 seconds to get over the line. You get 1 shot, no more, as Oakley bangs the glass. And Chicago starting to stretch it out again. 55-43.
Oh, is he going to...
Boy, had that thing going.
He's got the foul.
Had that thing gone.
Watch the hang time on this one. Here's Jordan baseline, and watch this. He stayed up there forever.
Person with his 4th, Indiana in the penalty.
And the ball never did come down.
5:10 in the quarter, and they're in the penalty situation. What a sweet-looking shot he's got. He just rolls that baby up and through. Corzine, Jordan, Sellers, Sparrow, and Oakley. In game 1, Michael Jordan had 37, 14-29. Last time they played in Indianapolis, he misses that one, obviously. He had 17 on 6 for 22 shooting from the floor. 56-43. Pacers had a chance to get it to 6. And now they trail by 13. 7 straight for the Bulls. Tisdale just in. And they're all over. Indiana's getting no more than 1 shot now. The Bulls are really taking care of the defensive boards, and the Pacers are not getting the job done on the offensive boards. No second, third efforts. That was a bad move. Yes, sir. Good call by Joey Crawford. Oakley tried to go where there was no daylight, and he shuffled those big brogans.
Here he is. Chuck's got him inside, and he's just going to try to roll it to the hoop. Well, he just kept running. He looked like a tight end going out for a pass and fell down.
Yeah, except the tight end usually runs to the post and the ball's there. Wayman Tisdale is 0 for 6 tonight. Got to get him going. John Long.
Well, we need that.
That's his 4th point of the ball game. John didn't have a lot of minutes in Milwaukee. As a result, really couldn't give the Pacers any offensive production. He was upset about it, but hey, he got in foul trouble, so Jack had to go with Reggie Miller. And Reggie did the lion's share of the playing at that 2-guard spot. Jordan played by Long. Long doing a good job as best he can. And Jordan put the ball down, lost it, gets it back, saves it to Corzine. 24-second violation. 24-second violation. Good defense by Indiana.
We're really working defensively here. In 8 minutes, we've only given them 7 points.
Well, hey, look at you got 4:02 to play in the third, and you got a halftime score up there, 56-45. That's what you usually see at halftime, those kind of numbers. Both teams doing a good job defensively. Stefanovic, they're sealing off that left hand now. They know he can use it. Long, no. Wayman, and he's fouled. Chicago with their 4th team foul. Indiana will have to inbound the ball. No free throw.
Here's the shot by Long. Boy, we just can't hit from outside. Wayman with the rebound. And there's the reach in and the foul.
Okay, now here's a chance maybe to get up and catch up with Chicago a little bit. Jordan with 4 fouls has to sit down. So Paxson comes in, and he will be called upon to do some of the scoring, and Long will have Paxson on the matchups. Byrne on Rory Sparrow, Corzine and Stefanovic. They clear out a side. Steve works on Corzine. Boy, that hoop doesn't want anything.
This doesn't want it. That was dead center.
56-45, Chicago. They've maintained the lead ever since they took it at 4-2. Jordan on that screen down by Corzine. Look at that big hook and ladder inside. You got a couple of 18-wheelers banging bodies down in the ditch.
They're really battling.
Sparrow back to Paxson, shoots it well from there.
Yep.
58-45. With his rep, he's got to hit that shot. With Wayman's rep, he's got to hit it in deep. Wayman's got to work. Now he gives the screen. Paxson look for the pick and roll. Long to Wayman. Wayman doesn't move. Has trouble getting it away. Blocked shot by Sellers. Wayman waited too long. Sparrow. Oakley. Inside to Corzine. Foul call on Stefanovic. Holding Corzine. Penalty in. Corzine will go to the line. Shoot a pair. Pretty good. Timeout right now. It's 58-45 Chicago, and time for the WZPL scoreboard. Continuous hits, fun, and free money. More winners more often on 99.5 WZPL. In the quarter, both teams have turned it over 5 times. 5 turnovers apiece. Turnovers originally got the Pacers back into the game when they trailed by 16, and they were able to take advantage of 3 successive Chicago turnovers for 6 to whittle to 10. The Pacers had it down to 8 here in the third, and a chance to get it to 6 3 times, and it blew by. In the third quarter, Chicago shooting 2 of 12, 17%. Indiana 5 of 16, 31%. And the Chicago Bulls have maintained an edge on the boards. And that's helped their chances, and Corzine goes to the line and misses the first one pretty good. Big Dave Corzine, 77% career. And he nestles one of the nets.
This next 2.5 minutes is going to tell a lot about the ball game, because they're up for 14. If they run that thing on out to 20 here in the next 2.5, it's going to make it awful tough.
What a move, boy. He had made a terrific move. Stepanovic on Grant, and Grant fouling him, but the shot again wouldn't fall. Hey, remember, Indiana Pacer basketball is brought to you in part by Miller Genuine Draft. It's cold filtered draft beer, and believe me when I tell you, it's as real as it gets. As real as the hawk is howling around Chicago, and Jack Frost is nipping at your nose in Indianapolis. That's a nice sound, isn't it? That thing hits that twine. Pacers, whose numbers are up considerably in certain areas this year. Field goal percentage better than last year's a team. Holding the opponent's field goal shooting percentage down to 46%. Last year was 48. Free throw percentage about the same. Rebound average up a little bit over last year. Scoring average is up. Defense is improved, so they're doing better. Grant made a good play on Stepanovic, so you get one at the other end, and you give up 2. That's not enough. And it's 61-46, Chicago by 15.
And they found the wide-open man on the half-court track.
Stepanovic, Reggie Miller, Ron Anderson in, replacing Person. Ron would love to light it up here at his home base, Chicago. Back to Stepanovic. 2 seconds, got to let it go and done.
Vern hit a big one.
With 2 on the shot clock, Vern Fleming. Last year averaged 12. This year doing a nice job for Indiana. He hits the big shot. Trapped, Paxson, trouble. Indiana prevent them from doing something with 1.5 minutes. Paxson gets it away. Grant with Sparrow on the right. Corzine on the left. Back to Grant. Oh, the kid redeemed himself, didn't he?
A rookie.
He looked like he was going to be a goat there for a minute. And it's 63-48 by 15 Chicago. Pacers trying to cut it down. Anderson.
Boy, did he go to the basket.
Boy, there's what you call a hot pretzel. That looked like a pastry chef decorating the top of a wedding cake with one of those pastry bags, you know. He was up there doing that fleur-de-lis in midair.
The dipsy-do.
22nd time, Paxson hurt. Indiana being attended to now by Jack Ramsey on his side for 20 seconds. Paxson being attended to by their trainer. These trainers, I can't tell them from doctors anymore the way they dress. Corzine looks like he's hurting a little bit too for Chicago. Yeah. Got a little owie there, huh? Little knee on knee, maybe. In the game, Indiana 12 for 20 at the line. Chicago 10 for 14. Watch Paxson here. Oh, my. Little slap there by Anderson on the follow-through. And Indiana now takes the 22nd timeout. So Chicago's used theirs. Indiana uses theirs. Both teams are out of 20s here in the second half. And we're rolling along on Channel 4. Hey, by the way, we'll be with you next week from Texas, where we'll bring you telecasts from Dallas and from San Antonio. The Dallas Mavericks, a good ball club, and the Spurs, very tough at home. Very, very difficult to beat there. So I hope you'll join us next week. Doug Collins now with John Bach, Phil Jackson, and Tex Winter. How many coaches do these teams have?
He's got enough of them, hasn't he? He's got 3 assistant coaches.
Well, they got to add seats on the benches for all these assistants now. These guys that dress up in these 3-piece suits.
Yeah.
They look like walking ads for Brooks Brothers.
Yeah. Right off Wall Street.
63-50, Chicago. Under a minute to play in the third. Set play against the pressure applied by Indiana is what they were drawing up. And all the while, as Anderson knocks it away, Chicago holding their own while Jordan's been out of the game with 4 fouls.
And we're really hustling on defense with our traps and everything, but they found the open man.
6 seconds to get it away. Grant's the guy they used to shoot, and he hit it. Boy, what a big shot. He's made 6 big points in this quarter from Sparta, Georgia. Had 51 against Auburn in the game last year.
There's 3.
Reggie. Not tonight. And Corzine's got it. Forced the shot with 29 seconds. And Chicago will walk it to a crawl here with a 15-point lead and 21 seconds to play in the quarter. 12 on the shot clock now. Rory Sparrow. Vern Fleming looking for the screen. Herb did not step out. Herb had to help on that. He's got to expose and step up there when Vern got back pick that time. He did not. Of course, it depends on what kind of a defense he was trying to play. It might have been his assignment to just drop down. And Vern gets it away, but the Pacers are down by 17. So Chicago with their biggest lead of the ball game. 17 on a chilly night. And old Chicago. We'll be right back. By 17, the Bulls going to the 4th, and Mike St. Clair of Rosedale, Indiana, selects John Long as tonight's Miller Lite 4th quarter shooter. When John hits the first Pacer points of the quarter, he wins a 13-inch Zenith color television. And for being selected, Mike receives a Pacer starter jacket. Well, John's not in there, so the Pacers are going to have to pick somebody, and Corzine gives them a 19-point lead. Pick somebody.
Let's see if Reggie Miller can get one.
All right. Ron Anderson, Reggie Miller, Herb Williams, Wayman Tisdale. And Herb can't find the range. Indiana trying to get it back. Michael Jordan, tongue hanging. Back to Sparrow. 21 points. They're trying to get there. Not this trip down. And Clint Wheeler.
Right back to Reggie. Hit that 3-pointer.
Here's your 3.
Oh, boy, we had a great shot of the TV there.
I got to tell you, the Pacers are colder than a streaker trying to paddle a canoe down the Chicago River tonight. It is cold shooting time for Indiana.
Boy, in this league, you'll have nights like this.
Yeah, you stop and think about it. That's got to be cold. 69 to 50. Chicago by 19. Give and go. Back to Jordan. Springer squared up. 21-point lead. Foul trouble. Brown and Jordan of Chicago with 4 persons. Stepanovic, Indiana with 4. Both teams have 4 timeouts. And the Pacers have had now a 13-point first quarter and a 15-point third quarter to show for their efforts here tonight. Not enough. In the game, Indiana shooting 31%. Oh, that is chilly. Chicago 47% on 28 of 60 coming into the 4th quarter.
We're slowly heading towards the point of no return.
Well, we're heading toward the igloo is where we're going. Herb with a running right-hand hook. Love to see him get into it. Only 6 points for Herb Williams. Chuck Person with only 8. And John Long with 4. Those are 3 of your starters. Not enough. So obviously our player tonight is not going to be able to win the TV, but a starter jacket. Pacers take it away in the turnover. Makes the play, Reggie, and he'll go to the line in the foul by Paxson. Say, you too could win a Zenith 13-inch diagonal color TV from Miller Lite. You guess which Pacer will score first in the 4th quarter of our next telecast. Send your guess on a card with your name, address, telephone number, and jacket size to Miller Lite Shootout. Indiana Pacers, 2 West Washington, Indianapolis 46204. And watch us on January 13 as the Pacers go against the Dallas Mavericks. Every contestant drawn receives a Pacer starter jacket. You have to be 21 or older. Both free throws good. Chicago outscoring the Pacers 22-13 in the first, 27-22 in the second, and 18-15 in the third. Both teams getting a little nippy in the 3rd quarter, and now it's 71-54. A low-scoring ball game for Indiana. And on their way to one of the lowest in the league this year, Corzine. Look at Jordan. A daring young man and a flying whatever. Reggie Miller is defending Jordan. Jordan with 11 rebounds in the game. Oh boy.
They just can't get him.
Nope. Corzine. How he hung on to that one, I'll never know, but You kind of get the feeling that Indiana blew their best shot when they had it at 8 and 3 times missed a chance to get it down to 6. 9 minutes to play. 73-54. Milwaukee is in at Market Square on Thursday night. And they'll be looking for some restitution in the Cole Cup battle.
Michael just got another steal.
Yeah, how many steals for Jordan? 3.5 a game on the way in. And the Pacers are not getting bad shots. They're playing good defense, and they just can't get a ball to fall for. Now, this is one of those ball games where you're going to look at the score and you're going to say, oh, they had to be lousy. But the only thing really lousy about their game has been their shooting. Probably a gross understatement, but they're getting good shots is the point I'm trying to make. Wayman to Hurry. One shot, no more. Offensive rebounding hasn't been all that great either. 8:05 to play. Chicago by 21 points. Herb is now 3 for 10. Corzine with a pick on Wheeler and then slips to the hoop and doesn't get it back. There's Grant. He's been good. Clean block. Chicago gets it back. It waits to Wayman, and Wayman throws the ball away. Woo. 75-54. John Paxson, Michael Jordan, Corzine, Sparrow, and Grant. They've got a 3-guard offense in there with Jordan playing up on the front line against Anderson. Here he is on top. Nice no-look pass to Sparrow. Corzine, Herb Williams. Don't Wheeler. Jordan doubles Williams in the ball. Look out from behind. Sparrow is on it. And he's fouled on the way to the back door. Well, it's on a night when Chuck Person can't give you any points, you know you're going to be in for some problems.
This is a nice drive by Clint Wheeler. And he gets fouled by Rory Sparrow. But I think you have to give the Chicago defense a lot of credit tonight. They have played what we call a jump switching defense, which has made us rush a lot of those shots.
Scottie Pippen comes back in. And out of the game goes Rory Sparrow. Sparrow with 3 fouls. Person with 8 points is on the bench. Wheeler misses the second free throw. Indiana at the free throw line has not had a good night either. 15 of 24. So all of those elements combined, and you can understand why Chicago with a 20-point lead and 7:02 to play. Jordan, that's not there. Tisdale with a foul. Coming into the game, the Chicago Bulls had attempted 777 free throws. The Indiana Pacers 648. But tonight, the Pacers have had more attempts than the Bulls, which is a good sign. Time for the Seagram's Cooler scoreboard. Where the Indiana Pacer basketball camps offer an extensive training program for both boys and girls. To receive a camp brochure, call the Pacer office tomorrow at 263-2100. Jordan with 3 steals in the game. Here he is at the line, averaging 3.5. Foul troubles. Michael Jordan has 4. Brown has 4. Michael Jordan now with 30 points. His seasonal average is 32.5. Person, incidentally, with 4 personal fouls. Steve Stepanovich with 4 fouls. And Chicago is now 11 for 15, now 12 for 16 at the line. 77-55. That's their big lead of the game. Reggie Stepanovich. Person blocked inside, trying to get it back. Chicago's defense has been very good. It really has. Stepanovich has only had, let's see, he's only had 1 point here in the second half. Horace Grant gets the foul at the line. Miller. Hey, Pacer fans, register now at Claypool Court in downtown Indianapolis to win tickets to the Pacer-Boston Celtics March 15th matchup. 75 winners will receive a pair of tickets to the game, plus a grand prize drawing winner traveling to see the Pacers and Celtics in Boston Garden on February 3rd. Deadline to enter the 21st of January. No purchase necessary. 77-57 on the free throws made by Reggie Miller. Jack Ramsey telling his guys what he wants them to do. Paxson. Yeah, they've been hitting their open shots. Pacers going the other way, and it's 79-57 with 6:19 to play in the game. But to go into the books here and find out what the low-scoring NBA game of the year was. They're going to be dangerously close to this one. I believe it was 73 points. If I check that. Jordan just picked up his 5th foul. And for the Chicago Bulls, 4.
Well, they've certainly played a good aggressive defensive ball game tonight. So when he's got 5 on him, you know that they've gone after it defensively.
Reggie. Back to Herb. Shot clock at 13, plenty of time. Herb puts the ball down, goes to the hoop, and reverses it in, and he'll go to the line. Sellers will come back in.
This is something unusual. You don't see Herbie do too much. He was out in the forward spot, and he laid it on the floor and went baseline and got an easy layup.
Pacers playing their 4th straight game against the Central Division foes in a stretch of 5 out of 6 games. And Herb Williams makes it a 3-pointer. Pacers have now outshot the opponents at the line, incidentally, also 3 of the last 4 games, at least so far in this game. They had a 2 out of 3 coming into this one. Paxson, they double on him. Give to Corzine. Back to Sellers. 79-60 Chicago. Missed shot. Pippins. Rebound Herb. Time is not an ally. 5.5 to play. Indiana with a lot of team fouls to take if they need them. Chicago nothing. Penalty in. Person. Stepanovic trying to set the screen on Pippen. There's Reggie. Shot clock at 6. Down to Stepanovic. Nice. Starting to whittle it down a little bit to 17 points. 79-62. Back to Grant. Nice fake. Inside. Great pass. Great pass. Brad Sellers that time is fouled, but that was a very, very adroit pass by Grant.
Here's Grant going up for the shot and just laying off a little underhand pass to Brad Sellers underneath when he goes to the line.
Sellers with 6 points in the ball game. We'll have to wait to get number 7.
There's still time.
Lots of games in the NBA tonight. Detroit, Atlanta, Clippers at Milwaukee, San Antonio, Golden State, Phoenix, New York, New Jersey, Washington, Seattle at Portland. Pacers will either lose a game to Atlanta, or if Detroit can come back and they were to win, they could gain a game. Stepanovic.
Oh, there's a 3-pointer.
Possibility. Still time. 4:52. 80-64.
Here's Stipo. Stipe has had a good ball game tonight. He's one of the few guys on the ball club that offensively has made a dent in that Chicago defense.
17 points in Corzine now with 3 personal fouls. The graying giant from DePaul. Stepanovic makes the free throw. Shoots that free throw very nicely for a big guy. Paxson, 2 men ahead. He'll pull it up under control. Jordan.
They remember our last trip into the stadium.
Byrne tries to latch on to him. Sellers back to Jordan. Corzine steps in on the slide. That time for the block. Paxson. Well, he hits some big points, doesn't he? Not many, but he hits the big ones, and he's hit 2 in this game. They're hurt. Pacers with a little run, and he hits this one, and he hit one earlier in the game also, same way. Back to Stepanovic. And Stepanovic is doing a job with 20. Paxson, incidentally, is 4 out of 6 from the floor. Give you an idea of what we were just talking about. And now it's 82-67 with 4:06 to play in the game. And tickets available for Milwaukee and the Clippers. Lakers game sold out, and Indiana call for an illegal defense. Or translated, a zone, Jack, a zone. He knows. It's on Chuck Person, they're saying. Didn't clear the zone in 2.9. Get back to your man. You got to either come all the way to the ball or get out of the middle. Get back on your man. Now Jordan will work it down. 16 on the shot clock, ticking away. They're going to try and chew the clock up a little bit. Corzine set the block. That time you saw Stepanovic step out of the square. Pops him for three. In and out. Hoop didn't want it. There's a break. Herb with a one-step dribble to Vern. Look for the three. Vern. And an offensive foul on Vern Fleming.
See, there's a circumstance right there where with Vern on the move there and the score being what it is. Now, when he went in there, Reggie Miller was right out here in the three-point area wide open, and you've got to hit some threes in these circumstances.
Well, that's the second time that Vern has done that tonight, and of course he did it against Milwaukee at a key time the other night with 12 seconds left to turn the ball over to the Bucks, and they couldn't score. But he's had a very fine year, though. Let's not diminish his season thus far by pointing out a negative, because he has really done a nice job.
Wide open jumper. Boy, he finds them, doesn't he? He finds the open man.
Yeah, open guys. You're doubling on the ball. You reverse it to the open man. 84-67 Chicago with 3:10 to play. Person. And he has been AWOL tonight. 10 points for Chuck, and that's it. Milwaukee and the Clippers. LA in between. That's sold out. Plenty of tickets for Milwaukee and Los Angeles, the other Los Angeles team. Plenty of tickets. Come on out, see some good basketball. There's Sellers again.
Boom, baby.
Boom, baby, the wrong way this time.
That's the wrong way.
11 points for Brad Sellers. 86-69. Missed shot. Chicago's got it. And Chicago looks like they're going to get their first win of the year against the Indiana Pacers. That'll be a big win for Chicago. It's a game they need because they're on a stretch now where they're playing several games at home. So a timeout is called, and we have just 2:28 left to play. Don't go away on us. It's 86-69, the Chicago Bulls. We have an 86-69 ball game here with 2:28 to go, and we were conjecturing before as to what would have been the low output of a losing team this year in a game, or a low output for any team in the NBA this year, and it was registered tonight by Detroit. Only 71 points against Atlanta, as Atlanta beat them 81-71. And the Pacers have got to score a couple points to at least get to the 71-point level. 86-69. There's Jordan, who needs 2 assists to have a triple-double. He's got 11 rebounds to go with his 31 points and 8 assists so far. Thompson again. Three-pointer. He's got 12 points, and he hits the three. 89-69 by 20, and the Pacers turn it over. Hey, Taco Bell invites you to say, hello, como esta? It's 2 great tastes. The great taste of Mexican food, and the great taste you're going to enjoy when you go to Taco Bell, a neighborhood Taco Bell restaurant. Stop by when you have an opportunity. Stepanovic and Reggie trying to double on the ball. Grant, there's your open man again. Back to Corzine. Look to the hoop before he had possession of the ball. Williams to Reggie. And I've seen him do that a lot in college. He's got 11 points here. John Long has had another substandard night with 4 and is on the pines. But John had a mittful more than that when he had to take on Michael Jordan defensively. And Jordan, like he does with everyone, had a good night. And Long did a pretty good job at times. Now Reggie, I should say Jordan is played by Vern. No look pass, Corzine down the boulevard. Oh, he's strolling right down that yellow brick road.
Boy, it's got to be a picnic playing with Michael Jordan. You just get all kinds of wide open shots.
1 assist to a triple-double. Person gets it, and Chuck with 12. Well, you won't brag about these 12 points because they have not been good ones for him tonight. Chicago has a pretty good record against the Eastern Conference. He's 13-8 after tonight. The Pacers 9-10. That's an important one to keep in mind for playoff structuring. In terms of home court advantage, and they start going through all the potential possibilities of determining who goes where and when. That was off the foot of a Pacer. Stuart Gray for Steve Stepanovic, and Stipo did a good job with 20. And with that, he had 7 rebounds. Jordan will come out. 31, I believe 9 assists, 11 rebounds. Paxson again. You gotta be kidding me.
His hands are smoldering.
Yeah, well, you don't want to get near him unless you got asbestos gloves on right now. Reggie Miller with 2. Miller the filler with 13. This is not a good indication of how the Pacers can play because the ball has not been falling for them tonight. And I promise you, if you come and see them against Milwaukee on Thursday, you won't see this. It's impossible to shoot have, and they've had good shots. And we're down to the final 15 seconds of the game. Chicago's got it under glass. And they're just about, well, they've turned the lights out for some time. And this is all theirs. Vern Fleming, Stuart Gray. Hey for Stuart Gray. And with 3 seconds to play, it's 93-77. It won't be the low-scoring game of the year in the NBA. Detroit did that, but it's not going to be one you want to brag about either. As Chicago with 93 points, the Pacers with 77 points. Pacers held Chicago under 100, and for only the second time in 8 games when the opponent has been held under 100 points, the Pacers have lost. They're 6-2 in games under 100 points. Chicago, on the other hand, in games they've held the opponent under 100, have won 10, and they've lost 2. So Chicago on a little stretch at home, doing a good job, and they get this one here tonight. Both teams played some tough, get-in-your-face, hunker-down type of defense, and Chicago bests the Pacers for the first time this year. Time for the Seagram's Cooler scoreboard. Be sure to look for all 5 flavors at your favorite outlet. Seagram's Coolers, where the fun starts. Chicago 93, Indiana 77. Well, tonight's Miller Lite All-Star player of the game has to be Steve Stepanovic. Stepanovic had a total of 20 points in the ball game, and I think he had 7 or 8 rebounds. And Miller Lite and WTTV will present a $100 check to the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation on behalf of Steve Stepanovic, tonight's Miller Lite All-Star player of the game. Want to remind you again that Thursday the Pacers return to Market Square against Milwaukee. The first of 3 straight at home, tickets available. Then the Lakers visit on Saturday, no tickets available for that one. And then the Clippers, they come on, and next Monday they'll play at Market Square, and there are tickets available for that one. All 3 games, incidentally, start at 7:30, and good seats available, as I mentioned, for both Milwaukee and the Los Angeles Clippers. So the Pacers come up real dry in 2 quarters. In the first where they score 13, in the third where they score 15, and they end up coming up with a very poor field goal shooting performance, and they lose this one by a final score of 93-77. Eddie Doucette, Slick Leonard will have a guest, hopefully, when we return, and then Slick and I will stop back and talk some statistics for you before we leave. So don't go away on us yet. Final score of this one, Chicago 93, Indiana 77.